everyone. Thanks for tuning in again to the Lucid Sight Collective Podcast. This episode, we're going to talk about how to increase your chances of having a lucid dream naturally. And there are many different ways and methods to induce a lucid dream, such as like wild or mild or wake back to bed, all different kinds. But everyone can train themselves to naturally gain lucidity in a dream. And I personally think that this way is way better and way more practical to implement into our daily life, because these methods are not only improving our sleeping life, they're actually improving our waking life as well. And they don't require you to interrupt your sleep patterns or do a long pre-sleep ritual that involves deep visualization that will hopefully lead you into a lucid dream. There are many different ways that you can increase your chances of having a lucid dream naturally, which may include herbal supplements, meditation, affirmations, or we'll talk about it in this episode. But this episode is specifically about things that you can do to increase your chances or the amount of lucid dreams that you have. And it isn't necessarily about training your brain how to lucid dream, which I will do an episode on that will include like reality checks and dream journals, which are very important components to do to have a lucid dream. But some people are just natural lucid dreamers in general, and these tips could help boost your lucidity level. But for others who have tried doing everything, like reality checks, dream journals, and the induced techniques, and if you've done all of that and you still can't have a lucid dream or even seem to remember or connect with your dream world in general, you might end up finding the answer why in this episode. And these things could just be that extra push that you needed to have your first lucid dream. So without even messing around with like induced lucid dreaming, like mild, wild, wake back to bed, all of those methods that you can use, we're just going to talk about different things and methods that we can implement into our daily life to help us naturally have a lucid dream. And this means like while we're sleeping, we don't do any of these techniques, but 1 or 2 or 3 dreams down the road, or even like the first dream that you have, you become lucid in this dream, like something triggers it, whether it be like something doesn't look quite right, or like you're just like aware of like the feeling of it and it doesn't feel like reality. But this is natural lucid dreaming. So it's something that sparks up organically on its own. And this can happen literally naturally, like without even knowing what lucid dreaming is. This was my case when I was a little kid. I didn't even know what lucid dreaming was, but I was like so excited to go to sleep every night because I knew that I could lucid dream, like thinking that it was normal and that everyone did it every night. Now I can't do this. I'm not a kid anymore, but I had that ability as a child. And as I said, like as I get older, my ability slowly decreases. And also I like neglected the art basically for a long time, and I'm just getting back into it. Like it's probably been like 3 years, maybe tops. But I've had to teach myself to get to that point to be able to naturally lucid dream again. So it's not like as natural as it was before, but I'm also not inducing this. Like it's just happening by chance, basically. And I've done this through meditation and herbal supplements and medicine and affirmations in my daily life, and just like where I keep my brain. Like I'm constantly questioning things daily, whether it be things that are going on in my reality, or like what people are telling me, or even like if this is like real life or a dream or not. Like I'm constantly questioning reality during the daytime. So that also translates into my dreams. But I've had to teach myself to do this. And it is really hard because when you're doing reality checks, like it's hard to take it seriously and like actually do a genuine reality check and not just like go through the motions. And it's hard to stay aware in our daily life and live consciously throughout the day. Enough so that it translates into our unconscious mind. So our unconscious mind is aware. Like that's a hard thing to do, guys. So just bear with yourselves through this journey and experience it and appreciate it for what it is and where you're at right now. And just know that you're going to get to where you want to be, but you have to appreciate where you are now to get there. So just let go and know that you're going to have a lucid dream eventually, or you're going to remember one of your dreams eventually. Like, I don't know where you're at in your journey yet, but I mean, this translates to waking life too. I don't want to like assume anything about your guys' life, but like this can help you in so many different realms. So take this information for what you will, but yeah, with anything, I think dream work is a great way to help you grow in your daily life and your waking life. Meditation is a great way and might even be the best way to increase your chances of having a lucid dream. Meditation in general increases our awareness and it trains us to be more present and aware in our daily life. And the more aware we are in our daily life, the more likely we are to be aware in a dream and then recognize that we're dreaming. And I kind of think that this may be what separates natural lucid dreamers from the people who really struggle to lucid dream in general, or even remember their dreams. And I think that the more present you are from day to day, and the less you live your life on autopilot, the greater the chances are that you'll recognize when you're in a dream, because that awareness that you have in your waking life translates into your dream world. There have actually been a lot of studies on meditation in relation to lucid dreaming. And it's written that one prominent potential link between lucid dreaming and meditation is that meditation training is hypothesized to increase meta-awareness, which is a term variously used as meta-consciousness or metacognitive awareness, which refers to the capacity to be aware of one's conscious thoughts or experiences. And I don't really think that this is a hypothesis because this is what mindfulness and meditation teaches us to do, is to observe our thoughts and be aware of the thinker inside of us. And it teaches us a lot of things, but this is a big aspect of meditation in general. There are thousands of different types of meditation, and all of them theoretically are beneficial in aiding you to have more lucid dreams. Yeah, I would not discriminate on any different type of meditation. They are all good for their separate reasons. I would encourage you to do your own research on different types of meditation, and like different types of yoga, because yeah, that's a whole world in itself. And I think it's a great way to improve your life, and especially like your mental health. It's an integral part of mental health, in my opinion. Studies have found that lucid dreaming is way more common in long-term meditators. And this makes sense to me because you can't just meditate like for 1 week or 2 weeks and expect to have a lucid dream. It takes time and repetition And like lucid dreaming, meditation is a skill that must be developed with time and dedication. And if you're trying to be more aware in your dreams, you can't do this unless you've been unconscious in life and pulled yourself back into awareness a million times, or been unaware of your thoughts completely and then pulled yourself back in and observed your thoughts as something else outside of you and questioned everything around you. That is meditation. I want to make a point that meditation doesn't have to be you sitting down on your yoga mat in silence for 30 minutes. Like, it can be throughout your daily life, and it should be throughout your daily life. Pulling yourself back into the present moment and recognizing that you're not paying attention to your thoughts. And like I said earlier, if you're not paying attention to your thoughts, you don't know where you're steering your subconscious into. Like, it is an important skill to develop, to pay attention to your thoughts and not take them too seriously, just observe them. Being present with the moment and yourself, and keeping in mind like what you're doing and why you're doing it. This can really help gain lucidity in a dream. If your mind is constantly thinking like, oh, like, where am I going right now? Or like, why am I doing this? Like, you can know like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store because I need food. Or like, I'm going to see my friend because I love them so much and they have free time. Or like, I am doing art because I feel creative and I want to express myself. But if you're in a dream and you're like on a boat in the middle of Antarctica and all of your like first grade friends are there and like Abraham Lincoln and like your mind will know like this can't be real, because you'll know like you'll go through some of those thoughts at some point and some red flag will pull up and you'll be like, wait, like I am not in first grade and like I'm an adult and these people are still little kids. Like, this isn't reality right now. So meditation throughout your daily life can really help you increase your chances of lucidity in a dream. And guys, what I mean by being present in the moment is you are fully conscious of the moment that you're in and free from the noise of the internal dialogue. So you're not thinking about the past or the future. You're just thinking about where you are right now and appreciating it for what it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. So when I talk about being aware of your thoughts and also being present in the moment, it's like this delicate balance. We do want to know what's going on in our subconscious, but we also want to be present in the moment too. So like I said, there's all different types of meditation and they all do different things, but it does have like an overarching concept of like this yin and yang. Like, we need to find a way to balance this and bring it together, and it can really help our lives. But yeah, I didn't really specify that. Like, when I'm talking about being present, it means being fully present in the moment. This is being present with how you're feeling in your mind and your body and your spirit, tuning into different areas in the body and seeing how it feels or how it reacts when you have different emotions or different thoughts, and what thoughts you are thinking in the present moment, and what your five senses are experiencing in the present moment. So this can be a lot of things, but presence is hard sometimes. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that. Like, I have a really hard time staying present sometimes. But the more present that we are, and the more we pay attention to everything going on in the present moment, it really clues us into just how often we are not in the present moment. Like, you don't even have to be thinking about the future or the past. You could just be thinking about like a movie that you want to see, or like a podcast that you listen to. Like, I'm not in the present moment right now. Like, sometimes you have to be out of the present moment, but the more you can get into this space and feel it, the more that will just be your baseline of living and just your go-to, like your autopilot mode almost is like being present. If you train yourself to do that, it can be done. If you want to know more about this topic, it's a really awesome thing to learn about and just like a good concept to have solid like in your mind. You can listen to the episode, I believe it's called Living a Lucid Life. It's the title is longer than that, but the end of the title is Living a Lucid Life. It's like the 4th or 5th episode or something. I'm not sure, but it's probably my favorite episode and will be forever, because this is like why this stuff is important to me, is like it's an all-encompassing sense of awareness that helps you in every way, shape, and form. So yeah, meditation, yeah, it's great. One of the easiest ways that you can have a lucid dream naturally is just by daily affirmations and telling yourself that you will have a lucid dream. And also trying to believe that it's easy for you to have a lucid dream, because if you're constantly thinking, oh my gosh, like I've been trying to have a lucid dream for so long and I just can't, like that is being drilled into your subconscious mind. And we're working with our subconscious mind when we're trying to lucid dream. So if your subconscious mind believes that you'll never have a lucid dream, or that it's too hard to attain, then you will never have a lucid dream, and it will be too hard for you to attain. So just tell yourself, whenever you think about lucid dreaming or dreaming in general, or like whatever, just think like, oh yeah, like even though I haven't had one yet, like I'm bound to eventually, and it will happen. And like, as long as I keep doing this, like it's going to be easy for me. Like, even if it hasn't happened yet, I will have a lucid dream. Just keep telling yourself that, and tell yourself like, I will lucid dream tonight, or like, I will remember my dreams tonight. Like, just constantly give yourself these positive affirmations about dreaming in general and lucid dreaming, and really try to make yourself believe that it's not that hard, and it really isn't if you believe it. And affirmations are a really great way to change your subconscious mind's beliefs, because you're drilling that into your head, and eventually your subconscious mind will believe that. So just tell yourself, lucid dreaming comes naturally to me. Say to yourself, I will lucid dream. I will remember my dreams. Am I dreaming? I can lucid dream. I am dreaming. Your mind will shift to believe that. And if you really want to go further, write these down. Fill up a whole page before you go to bed. If that doesn't work, fill up 3 pages. Like, your subconscious mind will learn, but you have to teach it. And writing things down really makes your brain learn more. I don't know what the science is on that, but I know there's something there. I'm sure you guys have experienced this too. But like any skill, lucid dreaming takes time to learn. Your mind will shift to believe whatever you are telling it, but you have to be telling it the right things. So this also ties in with being aware and present in your daily life and listening to the thoughts that you're telling yourself. And when you actually really listen and connect with those thoughts, you realize we have a more negative self-talk than we think and realize, because we're not really present and aware with these thoughts. They just kind of run in the background. But when we're present, we can begin to direct these thoughts someplace new. And when we're talking about dreaming, if you're like, oh, I can never remember my dreams, like I'll never be able to remember a dream. Like, you believe that, like, on a deep level, even if it is true, like, it can be changed, but it's never going to change if you keep telling yourself that. So yeah, you can change your own mind, but you need to direct it into where it's going to change. And like, you're constantly changing your mind every day with the self-talk that you give yourself, but even if you don't realize you're doing it. But if we're not aware that we're doing it, we don't know which direction we're steering ourselves. So we have to be present with these thoughts. And that's just like a life lesson, but it also correlates with this right now. So yeah. And one thing that I really need to say about affirmations too, I literally unpublished this episode and added this in because this needs to be said. When you're working with affirmations, if you don't truly believe what you're saying and feel it in your heart and like really believe that, if you're saying an affirmation and you don't believe it, if there's still some sort of block within you, if you say it and your mind is like, yes, but, or if you get a feeling in your body that negates that, if you don't truly believe the affirmation that you're saying, then what you're actually reinforcing into your subconscious mind and body is the negative. You're reinforcing that yes, but, and you're actually doing more harm than good, because this is drilling it into your mind that what you're saying right now isn't true. So when doing affirmation work, you actually have to believe what you're saying. And if you don't believe what you're saying, if there's something that triggers you, that you feel like it's not fully truth, you need to find those blockages and work on removing them and changing whatever belief it is that won't let you believe that affirmation. And then once you remove those blockages and fully believe that, these affirmations will work for you. But until you do this, then you're just drilling it into your mind that what you're saying isn't truth. So you need to really believe the affirmations for them to work. This is why affirmations don't work for most people, because they're saying it even though they don't believe it, and they're just hoping that they eventually will believe it, when that's not how that works. The trick is to really tune into this negative self-talk that you're having, or just your self-talk in general. But a lot of the times we don't realize like how negative our mindset is until we really pay attention to these like unconscious stream of consciousness, I guess, that's always going on in the background. And most people don't really pay attention to it, but it's constantly telling you things. And when we can tune into these thoughts and really think like, is this true? Like, do I actually believe this? Like, why am I thinking this? And you start to dissect your thought patterns and what you think on a daily basis. And this is how you can start to change this, when you really think about your thoughts and why you think the way that you think and why you believe what you believe. So when you're doing these affirmations, try to frame it in a way that it feels true to you. And even if this is just like the same thought that you have that's negative, like turn it into a positive. So instead of constantly thinking like, I can never lucid dream, like I've never been able to lucid dream before, I try and try and try, but I just can never have a lucid dream. Instead of thinking in that thought pattern, switch it to the positive and think, even though I haven't had a lucid dream yet, I know that I will. I know that I will have a lucid dream. Eventually, if I try long enough, I will have a lucid dream. I believe that I can lucid dream if I try. So it's not necessarily not true, but like that is something that you can fully believe. Like if you try long enough, it will eventually happen for you, instead of dwelling on the fact that it hasn't happened yet. Another great way to help boost your lucidity at nighttime and even during the daytime, but this really helps with lucid dreams, is to decalcify your pineal gland. And in case you guys are like rolling your eyes right now and about to turn this off, I just want to say that this is not like some conspiracy woo-woo bullshit that isn't based in fact. Like, there is heavy documentation of calcification in humans, and it doesn't just happen in the pineal gland, it can happen in other parts of the body, but when calcification starts to happen in the pineal gland, it can really affect our function as a human being. And yeah, I just wanted to say that because some people who don't really know about it might just think that like, oh, it's, I don't know, that's kind of what I thought at first. It sounded like a conspiracy theory to me, but yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, as I say like 20 times in each episode, do your research with everything, come to your own conclusion. But yeah, I think that this is pretty interesting stuff. And for the record, guys, I am a fan of the woo, but I'm just trying to give you guys like at least relatively factual information. Even though a lot of the stuff I talk about on here, I don't know, it can't be studied and pinned down. But yeah, I'm trying my best. So with that being said, if you've studied like Eastern philosophy or religion, or even studied yoga or any type of like energy work, you'll know that the pineal gland is associated with the third eye, which is one of our chakras. And we have hundreds of chakras, but most people just know the 7 chakra system, which are the main ones, and the 12 chakra system is also becoming a little bit more widely known, I think, which those deal with the main chakras as well as chakras outside of the body as well. And chakras are basically just energy centers in our body that are, for the most part, associated with organs in the body. And there are also chakras outside the body, as I said earlier, which are in our energy field. And yeah, we have chakras in our hands, our feet, above us, below us. Yeah, there's lots of them. If you guys are interested in that, definitely do some research because yeah, that's something that you could study for like your whole life and still have more to learn. Yeah, but the third eye chakra is specifically associated with awakening and awareness in general. So right there, awakening, awareness, that's what you need for lucid dreaming. And scientifically, the pineal gland is an endocrine gland, which is found in most vertebrates and is a source of melatonin, which is a hormone derived from tryptophan, which plays a central role in the regulation of the circadian rhythm, which is the 24-hour cycle of biological activities associated with the natural periods of light and darkness. So basically, that's just a fancy way of saying that it regulates our sleep and wake cycle, which right there, that tells you that this gland is going to have a major effect on your sleeping and your waking life. And even though the pineal gland is mostly associated with the production of melatonin, it also plays a main role in your perception of reality as a whole. Pineal calcification is also known as brain sand, and calcification of the pineal gland is heavily associated with Alzheimer's disease and schizophrenia and many more neurological issues. And for you to live up to your potential as a human being and be at your peak performance, and even in your development psychologically, you must have a healthy pineal gland. And when your pineal gland becomes fully calcified, it pretty much stops working. So it's best to catch this early on, but even if you have like a fully calcified pineal gland, there are steps that you can take to decalcify. But if you're one of those people that thinks, oh, like I'm healthy, like I eat raw foods and I'm vegan and whatever, like chances are your pineal gland is still probably like partially calcified, even if you only drink structured water and like, I don't know, just like everyone should partake in trying to keep their pineal gland healthy. And that goes with like everything else in the body too. But the things and the steps that we can take to decalcify our pineal gland, these also help the rest of our body. And like these supplements aren't like bad for you in any way. It's not like they're drugs or anything. Like they're herbal supplements that promote the health of your entire body, not just this one thing. So I think it's a good thing to implement regardless. So just ways in general that you can avoid the calcification of your pineal gland. It's still probably going to happen like slowly over time, but these are things that you can do to just like avoid excess calcification. Avoid fluoride, whether it's in your toothpaste. Tap water is also a really common source of fluoride. So you can filter your water really good. If you want like a Kangen water machine, I don't know if that's what they still call it, but like Kangen water or like structured water is really great. But make sure you're drinking filtered water because yeah, they pump that shit full with fluoride. That's not a conspiracy theory, but yeah, get fluoride-free toothpaste. Your teeth do not need fluoride. Like, even though your dentist may tell you that, that is a complete lie. Like, I can't tell you this for a fact. Like, you guys decide for your own, but my dad is a dentist, and like he had his own practice for years and years, and like he will tell you, like he'll be the first to tell you, you do not need fluoride in your toothpaste to have healthy teeth. Like, in fact, it's probably harming them. But yeah, you don't listen to me on that. Do your own research. But another way that you can just like avoid calcification in general is reducing your exposure to EMFs, which are just like basic electromagnetic fields. And EMFs are everywhere. Like, the earth has its own electromagnetic field, but what I'm talking about here is like directly coming from like technology and electricity. So like Wi-Fi routers, like TVs, your phones, fucking 5G towers and shit. All of that stuff is harming your pineal gland function. If you can't reduce your EMF exposure, there's this really cool machine that you can get to, I don't know if I'm going to explain it right now. Okay, I guess I'll just like briefly explain it, but if you guys are actually interested in it, just look it up, because it's backed by studies and stuff. But the reason that our body does so poorly with EMFs is because these like electronic EMFs, like the man-made EMFs, are so intense on our body that like it's overpowering nature's EMFs. So when we're like next to our phone all day, or like in our house with the Wi-Fi, or even just like living in the world with like 5G towers and shit, like those EMFs are constantly hitting us and radiating through our body, and it's that constant exposure that causes the harm to our body. So what this machine does is it actually emits like different EMFs, like electromagnetic frequencies, into the air, and it pulses it. So that pulsation of different EMFs breaks up the electromagnetic frequency in the air that's dominant, and that is what causes that harm in your body, is that like dominant constant EMF exposure. But this machine actually like breaks it up, and so you like, it basically eliminates the side effects from it. Probably doesn't eliminate it, but it is very effective. And I have one in my house, and like, I mean, yeah, it's great for like sleeping and stuff, but the energy that it gives you in your day, and like like even mentally, like you don't realize how the EMFs in your environment are affecting you, but it is crazy to see the difference. Like, I feel like a completely new person. I've had it for maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 6 to 8 months now. And like, it wasn't just like a phase, like a placebo. Like I've completely forgotten that I even have it, but like I'm still at that same level, like performing at that same level from like when I first got it. And yeah, it's really amazing. It's done amazing things for me and my plants. But yeah, if you can't like get away from the EMFs in your environment, I strongly recommend that. It's called Blue Shield if anyone's interested. This isn't like a promo or anything. Like I just genuinely love this company. It's not cheap, but if you are looking for EMF protection, to my knowledge, this is the only like genuine thing that has actually been proven to work. Like if you're buying anything that's like EMF shield or EMF blocking, like anything that says that it blocks EMFs, like it doesn't. Like it's just deflecting it. So like if you get EMF stickers or shit, like that only, it only works on that very sticker, and like it's just deflecting all of it. So like you could possibly be making it worse with those weird EMF blocking shit. I don't know what they are, but yeah, anything that like claims to shield EMF, it does not work. But what's different with this company is it's not blocking, it's just breaking up the EMFs that are in your environment so that they can't negatively affect you anymore. So yeah, highly recommend Blue Shield for all your EMF needs if you guys are interested. But there are also like supplements, like herbal supplements that we can use to decalcify our pineal gland. So you can use like spirulina to do a detox, raw cacao, anything that's like very chlorophyll rich, which includes like the spirulina, wheatgrass, blue-green algae, anything like that that's just like very nutrient packed but high in chlorophyll. Some people say that you can take melatonin to help your pineal gland, but this doesn't really make sense to me because you're like supplementing what it makes. So if you're giving that to your body, it doesn't like feel the need to make it anymore. And like, I don't know what the science is behind that, but for me, like I try to balance my melatonin naturally. So you can do this by when you wake up in the morning, go outside, and even if it's not sunny, that like indirect sunlight will affect your body. And just by like looking out, like not at the sun, but just like looking outside and like being outside, like when you wake up in the morning, that will help balance your circadian rhythm, which will then help your melatonin production naturally. Also at night, turn off your blue light. So like either have like blue blocking shield glasses to where like that blue light doesn't come into your eyes, or just like don't use your electronics like 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed, because this blue light triggers our brains that like, oh, it's daytime, like we have to produce all of that stuff for the daytime. But when you're only exposed to like low light or darkness during the nighttime, like before you go to bed, it lets your brain know like, oh, okay, I'm about to go to bed. So you're naturally training your body to produce what it needs to produce at the right time. So instead of like just taking melatonin supplements, before you do that, try to actually balance your melatonin levels naturally. I think a certain amount of melatonin is okay, but I don't know, especially in America, I think melatonin is really overused and kind of abused pretty widely, honestly. Yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of want to throw that in there that melatonin isn't necessarily the end all be all. It's better to go a more natural way. Now we're going to transition into supplements that you can use. And these ones I'm not necessarily going to recommend, but they are widely used amongst the lucid dreaming community. But after the supplements, I'm going to get into actual like herbal medicines that you can use, specifically just like plants in general. Even though these supplements that I'm talking about now might be derived from plants, I think like the real deal is like just basic plant medicine, with the actual plants. So I don't necessarily recommend this, but after I talk about this, I will talk about different plants that you can use to help induce lucid dreaming. And those ones I will recommend, but obviously do your own research with everything. I'm sure these supplements are fine, but I just don't know enough about them. So yeah. And other than plant medicine in general, there are a lot of lucid dreaming supplements and pills that people use, but 5-HTP seems to be one of the most common ones. And 5-HTP is short for 5-hydroxytryptophan. And this is a naturally occurring amino acid as well as a metabolic intermediate in the synthesis of serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter. But basically, this stuff can be converted into serotonin in the body. So it helps with anxiety, depression, insomnia. Sorry. Anyways, it can improve the mood and well-being, and it also improves dream recall and vividity, which that right there is why the lucid dreamers take it, because you can't remember a lucid dream if you don't remember your dreams. So you need to have like a good dream recall in order to be a lucid dreamer. So yeah, 5-HTP is great for dream recall in general. I don't know if I want to like prescribe this to you guys, like, and say that it's like a really great thing. I personally take it, and I found that it helps increase my dream vividity and recall in general, but it's not a plant medicine, so I don't know much about it, and I can't really say that it's like safe or good, even though it is technically natural. I don't know. I didn't pull it out of the ground, so I don't really know exactly what it is. So I'm not going to say that you guys should use it or not, but it does help with dream vividity and recall. And another supplement that I'll talk about is vitamin B. If you don't have enough vitamin B in your diet, then I recommend taking it in supplement form, specifically vitamin B and vitamin B6 and vitamin B12 are good for dream recall in turn that potentially enables you to then lucid dream. So vitamin D and 5-HTP are my two supplements that I take, but there are a bunch of other supplements that can increase lucid dreaming. But I really encourage you guys to do your own research on this, because I'm an herbalist, so I'm not really well versed on this kind of stuff, but I know that some of these supplements are derived from plants and like natural substances. So I'm not going to tell you guys anything that's like crazy unnatural, or that you can't get like over the counter. But yeah, just a heads up, like everything that I talk about from now on that isn't a plant, I'm not well versed in that, and I don't use personally. So yeah, do your own research on this, guys. But with that being said, there's also galantamine, which improves dream recall, creates vivid dreams, induces lucidity, and apparently this is actually extracted from natural herbs. I don't know how they do it or what part they extract or from what herbs they're extracted from. But the only cons that I could find of taking this include like a small number of people experiencing some dizziness. But based on extensive testing and review process, they noticed that galantamine dramatically helps with lucid dreaming. And they noticed it improves dream recall, increases a sense of vividness when dreaming, and helps maintain awareness while in the dream state, which that's a really important part of lucid dreaming. But overall, galantamine has found to be the most effective lucid dreaming supplement that you could buy on the market. I personally haven't tried this yet. This like research that I'm doing right now is making me kind of want to try it. But yeah, overall, it just really helps with memory in general and like specifically dream recall and just like awareness in helping you to maintain a state of consciousness. So yeah, galantamine, pretty cool. And honestly, I could go over more supplements. I was going to, but I can't really pronounce most of them. And it seems like there's side effects for like pretty much most of the rest of them that I could find. So I don't want to like steer you guys in the wrong direction whatsoever. So I'm just gonna leave it there and transition into like actual herbal medicines that can help you increase lucid dreaming. All of these are going to be pretty much universal, so I would recommend these to anyone. Don't like overuse them, obviously, like be smart about it and like listen to yourself when you're taking these medicines, but these plants can be great teachers to everyone. So I recommend them to everyone, and with that, we'll get into the plants. There are a lot of herbs that can help us gain lucidity in our dreams. I might not talk about all of them. I hope that I can get to all of them, but I'm not going to go into like any great detail on what they do because you guys can research for yourselves. And also, they don't just help with lucidity or dreams in general. Like most of these herbs have a plethora of benefits to them, and I'm just going to be talking about what they do in relation to dreaming. So, there are herbs that help us with like general anxiety, and I consider those to be lucid dreaming herbs just because they help with our sleep in general. Those tend to be like kava, lemon balm, lavender, chamomile, skullcap, anything like that. I think that the most powerful of these are kava, lemon balm, and skullcap. Great herbs, just even to use like during daily life with anxiety or like if you're having troubles relaxing or like just like with the running thoughts in your mind. They are great herbs to use in your daily life. Kava is actually a root, but you can get it in tincture form, which makes it easy to take. It also is really common to find it in a powderized form, and it's easy to make it into a drink with the powder. It is just like a general relaxant, as are the other herbs that I just mentioned, but what separates kava is that it's actually used for ceremonial purposes as well. And I personally only drink kava when I'm in ceremony, but it's also a really common drink in countries outside of America. They have like kava bars and everything, but I personally just don't really like the taste of it. It's really bitter, so that's why I only drink in ceremony or take it in like tincture form, so I only have to take a few drops. But yeah, if you like the taste of it and you're respecting the plant, then it's a common bedtime drink too. But yeah, kava is pretty powerful and sacred, so use it with intention, as always. But there's also like cinnamon and tulsi or holy basil, winter cherry, Mexican tarragon, things like that, which are like kind of lesser known lucid dreaming aids, but they still do really help in lucid dreaming. And then there's also like the really powerful and well-known herbs that really do specifically help you to gain lucidity in your dreams. And probably the most common of those are mugwort. That's like the number one lucid dreaming herb probably, but it's also passion flower, pretty much like any type of lotus, specifically blue lotus or Egyptian lotus. Motherwort is also a really common and powerful lucid dreaming herb, and same with woodworm or wormwood. I always say woodworm, I don't know why, but wormwood. And that's actually used to make absinthe, which I don't know if like some people don't know what absinthe is. I've never had it before, but it's like an alcoholic drink. It's kind of like a wine or like a liquor, but it makes you hallucinate. Like I don't know, I've seen it like written into movies and TV shows and stuff where they like accidentally drink absinthe thinking it's wine and then they're all like hallucinating like crazy. But yeah, wormwood is actually used to make absinthe. So some more really powerful lucid dreaming herbs are African dream root, which I wouldn't really recommend this because you have to like pulverize the dried root and cook it before you make a tea out of it or can ingest it, which there's just like a lot of steps to it. So I don't recommend it for beginners or people who aren't really serious about these herbs. But yeah, African dream root kind of looks like the wild tobacco flower. If you guys I don't know, it's kind of a lesser known supplement, I feel like. But there's also the dream herb, which I don't know if I can say it, but Kalea zakatachichi. I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry. But it pretty much just grows in Mexico. But yeah, you can grow it in other areas. It's just like a shrub bush. That is like one of the most common lucid dreaming herbs. It's literally known as the dream herb. So yeah, it works great. Also valerian root is really good. I also just realized that I forgot to mention wild asparagus root as being a great lucid dreaming herb. It's also known as the flying herb, and it's known for being believed to help you fly through the universe while you're dreaming. So it's like a mix between an astral projection aid and a lucid dreaming aid. Yeah, so wild asparagus root, that's kind of one of the lesser known ones, but it is really powerful too. And while we're on the topic of astral projection really quick, I'll probably do an episode in the future on like flying balms and flying ointment, I think is another term for it, but I think it has a bunch of different names. But it's basically like a balm or like a lotion or an oil that you put on your body, and it's made with like poisonous plants. So like datura, belladonna, like even like amanita mushroom, or like the fly agaric. But yeah, these balms are made with poisonous plants, but you're not ingesting them. It's like seeping in through your skin, and that is like a safe way to take it. Obviously, don't like make your own if you're not well versed on it, but yeah, that is another tool in lucid dreaming. But it's mostly associated with astral projection. Yeah, so I'll do another episode on flying balm in the future because yeah, they're made with herbs. It's like an herbal balm. But yeah, the flying balm is like way more intense than any of these herbs because like yeah, these herbs that I mentioned before aren't poisonous at all. Like they're safe to take. Obviously, do your own research, but flying balms are more of like, I don't know, that I would closer align it to like a slightly psychedelic experience. It's not super intense, but it is like, yeah, you're getting into that territory when you use flying balms. So yeah, I'll talk more about this in the future, but I thought I'd just throw it in here for anyone who doesn't know and might be interested in it. I just realized that I forgot to mention ginkgo biloba too is also good for just like memory in general and recall. But yeah, I pretty much, I think I covered most of them. I just want to say that if you guys are using these in your everyday life to gain lucidity, make sure you respect the plants and take them intentionally because they are very powerful, and they can really, really help us with our daily life and cater to like our very personal needs. So if you're taking plant medicine, make sure you're doing it intentionally and not just like on the side, like, oh, if this works, it works. Like, no, like you're working with this plant and it's a sacred thing. So yeah, make sure you guys respect the plants and also buy like sustainably sourced plants because yeah, some like not all supplements are made the same. And if you guys have like a local apothecary or like an herbal shop, use that because you're gonna get more quality herbs from there than buying it off of like Amazon, God forbid. Like you should not buy your herbs off of Amazon. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion, but yeah, support local because the people who actually care about growing these herbs, the energy that's like instilled into their very cells it's just going to be a more powerful medicine. And yeah, so I don't know, just do your own research with this as with everything else, but there are plenty of herbs that can help you to lucid dream, whether you take it through a tea or like put it in like those little clear pills and take it, or you can buy like pre-made tinctures, or if you're growing it yourself, you can make your own tinctures. There's a bunch of different types of tinctures too, like spagyric tinctures, or like if you don't want any alcohol, like there's a bunch of different tinctures that you can get. They're not really called tinctures anymore if there's no alcohol in it, but there's a bunch of different ways that you can easily take these herbs daily. And yeah, it doesn't have to be like this whole ritual at night. Like you can make that, but it's nice to have like a little nighttime ritual that's dedicated to dreaming and stuff. But yeah, if you don't have time for that, just like intentionally take some blue lotus tincture like every night, or I don't know, like there's multiple ways to incorporate herbs into your daily life. But if you're not going to do it intentionally, then I don't recommend it. But yeah, herbs can be a great help in many different ways. And I also just want to throw in here really quick for anyone who's not familiar with herbal medicine. These plants aren't going to like dramatically shift your state of being. Like they're going to affect you on a very subtle energetic level. Some of them are more powerful than others, as I've explained, but it's not gonna like it's not like weed or anything. Like you're not gonna have like a psychoactive experience, or like they're not gonna make you feel high or anything. I don't know. I just felt the need to throw that in there for people who aren't very familiar with these herbs, because there have been certain people that when I tell them I'm an herbalist, they just automatically think that I grow and sell cannabis, and that is not what it is. They're just plants, and like any other thing that you put in your body, it's going to have an effect on you, but it's not like a super intense experience. So I don't want anyone to be like afraid to take these herbal supplements or anything, or like drink some tea with mugwort in it, like, or like wormwood. Like, yes, that is used to make absinthe, but the plant like isn't liquor in itself. So yeah, don't be scared to take these, but like I said, do your research with everything before taking anything, and respect the plant as always. Also, with herbal medicine, like I said, some of these herbs are more powerful than others, and it's important to look at the recommended dosage for these herbs when you're using them, and just like be smart about it. And yeah, like I said, respect the plants. And while we're also on this subject, it's important to bring up the unfortunate fact that cannabis use does have an effect on our dream recall and just our ability to be like aware in general. If you smoke a lot, this can decrease your awareness in general. So if you're sleeping, it's really hard to recognize that you're in a dream if like you're always under the influence. Like you're not really going to question things as much. So it's pretty hard to have a lucid dream if you're like smoking weed all the time. And also just to like remember your dreams in general. Like even if you do by chance have a lucid dream, you're probably not going to remember it because it's really hard to remember your dreams if you smoke a lot. For some people, this may not be a truth. Everyone's different. But it is like a scientific fact that most people, like cannabis does affect their dreams recall in general. I've experienced this personally, like if I take a tolerance break, and I stop smoking for like, even like just like 2 days, that can trigger me to like, that's like just the push that you need to remember your dream. Or like even after a tolerance break, like if you've stopped smoking for like a week or two and then you start again, once you start, like sometimes that's the point where it triggers like really vivid, crazy dreams that you remember like really well. For me, I personally experience more vivid dreams like right when I start smoking again. But also, if I smoke too much, then I don't remember my dreams for like 2 months sometimes. But I smoke a lot, so I don't know. It's just, it varies with everyone. So, yeah. But if you want to remember your dreams, maybe just like stop smoking so much weed. I don't know. Like you don't even have to quit, just like lower the amount that you smoke. But also, if you don't smoke, sorry for this tangent. I will move on to the next topic now. So I was gonna do a little bit more talking, but it's almost been an hour. So I don't know. I feel like people are probably getting bored. But yeah, I'm gonna do another episode on how to train your mind to lucid dream, and that's gonna be like way different, but it's also gonna be equally as important. Sorry. So yeah, if you want to listen to that one too, I highly recommend it, but it doesn't exist yet, so it'll be out shortly. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I can keep up with posting once a week, but it's starting to get harder and harder. 'Cause yeah, most of this stuff is just like from my prior knowledge. I have a lot of ideas that I know I want to talk about, but most of those ideas are like things that I'm not super familiar with, and I'm not just gonna like talk out of my ass to you guys. I mean, I do that sometimes, but I like to research stuff and make sure that it's not just my opinion that I'm giving you guys. It's like backed up by some sort of studies and information. So yeah, it takes a long time to research that and like actually learn it so that you can speak it back without sounding like an idiot. So yeah, I'm learning how to do that, and it's definitely a process. So bear with me. I'm only human. And I also have like a million other projects going on right now. So yeah, I'm trying to organize my time, but I'm trying to get out an episode for you guys every week. But I'm just giving you a heads up if I skip a week or like you see that I haven't posted in a little bit. Don't worry, I'm gonna continue making these episodes. But yeah, I have a job and I'm an artist and I'm going to school, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm a busy girl, so you'll see. You see right now I'm babbling, so I'm just gonna stop it right here And yeah, hopefully you guys keep listening because there's a lot more to talk about. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and found some of these things to be applicable to your life. Yeah, I hope it was helpful. So let me know if you guys implement any of these things and if they help you increase your lucidity in your dreams, or if you have any other tips that you can let me know about and I'll share in the next podcast. So thanks for listening again. Have a good one.